Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what I want to talk about is what's called hacking and a mechanism called a stop second that is in your watch. Now, it works just like a brake on a stagecoach. If you've seen those old westerns, they come into town and they stomp on the on the brake. What happens? This brake block uh, hits up against the wheel, and that stops the wheel from spinning, which is stops the stagecoach. One side of the brake block, as you can see, is wood, and the other side they usually have a piece of leather there, and then they replace it when they need a new one. Now, your watch, the stop second on the watch is very similar. This is your balance wheel, and it's going along, oscillating back and forth. And then when you pull the crown out with it, that has a stop second, it slams down on the on your balance wheel, and it stops it. So then you can, and what you try to do, they wait until the second comes up here, and then they close it down, they stop it, and then you can work it from there. Here's a couple in one of my watches. This is in this watch. There's a stop second. Now you can see in the left picture, it's open. You can see it up there. You can't see the wheel because you can't see the balance because it's oscillating so fast that it's just a blur. But then as soon as I pull out the crown, it slams right on top of it. Now, this particular balance has balance weights on it. And so instead of hitting the wheel directly, it hits the balance plate. But essentially, this is the way they all work. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's not, it takes some good watchmaking chops to make one of these, but not every watch has it. For example, FP Journe watches don't have hacking, and there's a reason for it. This is what he said. I'm going to read it to you. It says, and this is from a guy who interviewed him, a guy named the Journe guy, big FP Journe fan. He says, hacking mechanism involves slamming a lever, quite literally, onto a fast spinning balance wheel to bring it to a halt. This was the biggest problem, in his opinion, the bigger problem in his opinion. There are other problems. A balance wheel oscillates at a high speed of 21,600 beats per hour. Actually, it's most of them are 4 hertz, so it's 28,800, even faster. And is meant to do so freely. It is a crucial part of the watch and should remain undisturbed. In other words, they don't want some big brake slamming on top of it. So in addition, a stop second mechanism takes up room for additional chronometer features like a larger balance wheel. Now here's an example right here, FP Journe Octa Reserve de Marche. This is one that a guy sent, he got it recently and sent me this picture, and it's just like, wow. And you can see the big balance wheel, I think, takes up almost the whole bottom part of the watch. And so without having to add more gizmos to it, you have a little more room to do it. That's one advantage. But the big one is smacking on the balance, just coming down like her happily spinning bam. That's what he doesn't like about it. Now, there's something for watches that don't have hacking that some people, well, they want to hack anyway. So there's something that's called back hacking. And this is one of the watches I made. And essentially what you do is that you pull out the crown and then you turn it in the opposite direction just a little so that the second hand stops. And so it's something that I wouldn't do with my good watches, my Vacheron Constant 10, American 21. I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's something I understand why people don't want to synchronize their watches for shooting artillery or going over the top together. But it's one of those things. Patek Philippe doesn't have it. No, neither does Zenith. Now, Zenith is the one that they like to have those high frequencies, like 36,000, 5 hertz. Well, good thing they don't have hacking. Come slamming down on that thing every time you start it. Now, one of the things you can do, and I recommend, is that, and what I've done anyway, I don't my watches that hack, which is most of them. What I do is that I wait until they run out. I mean, there's nothing left, and so as a result, the balance wheel isn't spinning, and so then I pull it out, and so the brake is going against a still balance wheel, and then I set the time, and then put it in and wind it up real quick, so it's on the right time. So anyway, let's hear your opinion. There are pros and cons about hacking. And I'd like to hear what you have to say, and tell me about your watches. Do they hack or not? And what do you think of it? In the meantime, take care and be safe. And until next time, it's Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.